One of the questions we get asked all the time here at Sunday Sounds is how in the world can I build my set lists faster? How can I find the right patches for every song in my set list without it taking hours and hours every week? I totally understand this concern. It's one of the main things that keeps volunteers and worship leaders from fully recognizing the potential of the keys position in their church. Today, I'm going to talk you through a couple common approaches. People often come to us wondering when and where they should use our song-specific patches versus building something from scratch themselves, or just choosing a factory patch from the Sunday Keys library. Let's break it down so you can make the right choices and build your set lists that much faster. So part of the reason I wanted to shoot this video was because we reached a milestone here at Sunday Sounds. I'm going to go to song-specific patches on our website and filter by software Sunday Keys app. We quite recently crossed the 200 song patch threshold, which means we now have over 200 song patches available in the Sunday Keys app format. This took us a long time, it's a lot of work, but we have a really comprehensive base of coverage for today's most popular worship songs, and we add new song patches every single week. Now, if you're not familiar with our song-specific patches, keep watching because we're going to get into some of what sets them apart and makes them unique from a generic patch or a patch you might make yourself as we get through this video. But remember, the whole point is we want you to be able to figure out when do I need one, when do I not want one, and how can those decisions happen fast so I can build set lists that sound great and also don't take hours and hours to prep. So you can see here we've got tons and tons of song patches available for all the top worship songs by all the top artists. You can sort by popularity alphabetically, or you can see what we've released most recently. So here's newest to oldest. We've got So So Good that just came out at the time of shooting this video. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to our partner brand Loop Community's website, and I love to go here to get a sense of the most popular worship songs at any given moment. So I've gone to the song search here, and I'm sorting by best-selling, and this is a recent snapshot of popularity. So we can see that we've got Praise, Trust in God, Who Else? Love that song. I Speak Jesus, So So Good. So we've got this tune here by Phil, big Phil guy I am, and we've got our song-specific patch to match. And we always build our song-specific patches to match the artist's original arrangement, and the idea is that we want to give you the option to cover all of the keys and synth parts live from a single keys player with just two hands, if that's what you'd like to do. Now, one other thing that you might not know or might be easy to miss about our song patches is that we always produce a video tutorial walking you through and teaching you how to play the song using the song-specific patch. So you just go to the product page for that song, and you'll see this video tutorial player on the side of the screen.
Song-specific patches, way up.
So we can scroll through this.
With song section 1 for intro, instrumental, bridge, interlude, and final
Today we have Joy talking us through
section 2 for intro and verse.
All of the programming, teaching the parts in real time, letting you know when to move through the various song sections, and in a song patch in the app, that all happens through snapshots. And then you can also jump around. So if you want to focus on the intro, just jump ahead to the intro or the instrumental and bridge. And then we also always include a full playthrough. So if you want to just play along or get a sense of the full song map and how the song patch plays, that's available to you here as well. So this is not only a great way to get a sense of what the song patch sounds like before you buy, but also a pretty important part of figuring out how you can use it live after you've picked up a song patch for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and pull down this patch for So So Good. Now, if you wanted to use this song patch, you can purchase it from our website, or if you have a Sunday Keys All Access license, then you automatically get access to all the song patches in the library. I just so happen to have an All Access license, which means in the Sound Downloads Manager, I can download every single song patch that we have available. So I'm going to go here and find So So Good, press download, and now this is added to my library as quick as that. I'm going to hit plus and add patch from the library. And then in the library dropdown, I'm going to choose song-specific patches. Here I can view all the song patches that I have access to that I've downloaded to this specific device. So I'm going to choose So So Good and add it to my set list. So this is our song-specific patch. We always program out the snapshots to move through the various song sections, and we use snapshot notes so that as you move through those snapshots, you get a quick little reminder of the approach that you should take for that snapshot. So for example, here in the intro and verse, I'm supposed to play low octave single notes. And then as we build up to the medium verse, I'm gonna play octaves. So you hear the low octave is giving me a pad, that piano bass, and some sort of subtle arp textures. As I add that octave in, there are more layers in the mix. So those things together fill a bunch more space. And then I have my right hand playing the piano lead right here. And then up in the right hand, as we go, we've got more layers, which you can see represented by the layer ranges on screen. So the power of song-specific patches is in that specificity. This patch has, let's see, 15 total sounds. And as you move through snapshots, you can see volumes rise and fall and are adjusted. And if we switch from the notes view to the effect view, we can see even more specifically all of the audio and MIDI effect programming that has gone into this song-specific patch. We use MIDI effects a ton in our song patches to let you play sounds that are a bit larger than life. So for example, on this piano, I've got an instance of easy chord, meaning that specific input notes are programmed to output one or more notes. This means that at certain times of the song, if I just play a single bass note in the piano, I'm actually going to hear a chord in response, which means my right hand doesn't have to comp that chord, I can play a lead part instead. Many of the background sounds will feature sequencers, which are also programmed so specific input notes output one or more notes in a sequence of output, and then arpeggiated sounds as well. All of this MIDI programming is some of the secret sauce that makes a song-specific patch different from just a generic patch from the factory library. Not only does it let you play these larger-than-life parts, but these parts are designed to specifically replicate the feel of the synth programming from the original song. So you're getting all of that nuance, all of that producer polish. And our goal when we program these is so that you can always feel like you're playing one unified instrument and all the parts are happening around you. Most of the time that's a piano, sometimes it's an organ or a lead. But the idea is that if you understand your core assignment, I'm playing the piano parts and the lead parts on this song, all of those extra textures come in and rise and fall around you. So just to give you an example of what that looks like, even without like playing cool parts, I'm just gonna play something like this. And then just an octave bass in the left hand. And I want you to hear how, as I move through these different snapshots, the entire dynamic ceiling of the keys parts will rise and fall, even as I just continue playing those same notes. I'm doing it in this simple broken down way rather than playing the actual so good parts, because I want you to understand that this programming is doing a lot to help you, so that even if you play different piano parts or different right hand parts, if you're hitting those bass notes, that programming comes up underneath to support. It's what makes the song specific patch specific to the song. Okay, so here we go. Just something like this. Big all in. And we always include this mellow fade out snapshot that takes you down so that there are no longer any time-based elements, none of that extra bit of motion or movement that could be distracting. This is kind of the I need to vamp for who knows how long snapshot. That's always the last snapshot, which means you can just play piano, have the same texture, sort of the same feeling from the pads, but none of that motion. So that's really one of the big things that makes a song-specific patch something unique. That ability to play a core instrument or two, a core part or two, and then have all of these additional textures and layers come around what you're playing and underneath what you're playing to support and enhance it. It's not DJing, it's not the piano playing itself, it's you playing these core parts, and then these supplementary parts that are programmed happen alongside of and in response to what you're playing. So as you play these left-hand bass notes, that's what triggers these sequences, these chords. So as you move through, it stays in sync and in response to what you're playing. So just play in time as you go, as your band's playing along to a click. and everything stays nice and locked in. So that's what I love about song-specific patches, and the very first product Sunday Sounds ever released actually was a song-specific patch. It's been over 10 years ago now, but the very first patch I ever put out in what would eventually become Sunday Sounds was a song-specific patch for the song Alive by Hillsong Young and Free. And I had built this thing out of necessity for my own worship team because we had one keys player, we wanted to play this song, and we wanted to sound like the original. We wanted to do all of those synth parts live, but it was a tall order to ask my keys player to change presets 20 times in a song to nail all of those very specific synth parts. So I figured out how to program all of those parts to just something that, two hands on one keyboard could pull off. And eventually that turned into this idea of the song-specific patch, and hundreds of song patches later, here we are. And with over 200 in the Sunday Keys app now, it's an awesome time to check out this kind of product in Sunday Keys if you haven't before. Now, like I said, you can go and browse on our website. Song patches are always $9 each, which we think provides a lot of value. They take us a long time to make. We do all the programming for you. We leave snapshot notes in the app to give you simple reminders of the parts that you're intended to play. And if you want to purposely push outside of that, you can do so with context. And we also provide a video tutorial that makes it easier for you or your volunteers to quickly catch on to how the song is programmed and how it's supposed to work, so that you don't have to spend hours learning a brand new song. Truly, once you learn those core parts, the basic voicings and where things are at on the keyboard, from there, you can play it like a piano more often than not, and you still get that awesome supplementary effect that song-specific patches are so good at doing. So you can purchase these for $9 a piece at sundaysounds.com, or if you've got an all-access license, you can download any song-specific patch we have in the app format on demand and use it as much as you'd like for you and your entire church campus, for as long as you keep that license active. So it's an incredible value, over 200 song patches, and we add more every week. So if you were to go to purchase every song patch we have, it would cost you about $2,000, and you get this for one fixed cost per year. So it saves a ton of money if you plan to use lots of song patches, and there's lots of other benefits to all access too, but that's not the point of today's video. So we talked about So Good as sort of an example of what a song-specific patch does. Let's go to another tune. I'm gonna go to maybe Praise. This is a song that I'm super familiar with.
Hey everyone, Joy from Sunday Song.
Hey Joy.
With just a pad, you can't know notes have the ARP.
If you've used a song-specific patch, you know Joy. She does all our video tutorials, makes almost all of our song patches. Awesome teacher and awesome sound designer. Okay.
All right, so next.
Cool. So we're in A. We're at 127. I think I already have this song patch downloaded on my device, so I'm going to pull it in. Go to song patches. So I'm going to load in the song patch that I have for Praise. And we can see that there are lots of layers, 14 total layers. We've got 4 different snapshots doing all sorts of different things. So I'm going to go here. My Achilles heel of this song is that I always want to play Sky Full of Stars by Coldplay instead, which is just barely not right. So if I do that during this video, leave a comment and let me know, because I will not catch myself. But I've done it at least 80 other times when talking about Praise in various videos. So if I do, just give me grace. Okay, we've got Praise here. We've got Praise here as the top song at loop, has been for some time. And you can see we've got lots and lots of guitar parts, but then we got synth bass, we've got various keys parts, we've got this percussion loop, various synthy things going on. It's a pretty dense song. So I could use this song-specific patch, but let me talk you through the sort of various ways you could approach this. So first off, you could make your own patch from scratch. So we could just say, I'm going to make a patch for Praise, and I'm going to play it in A at 127. I'll lock that tempo. And then from here, you can just choose what sounds do I want. So I could say that I know I want a piano. I'm going to go to switch this to category so I can browse in that way. I'm going to switch this to type so I can filter down. I know I need maybe a grand piano, and I'm going to go ahead and pull in, I'm going to do the concert grand, one of our newest pianos in Sunday Keys. So get that piano that can kind of steer everything, right? But it's a pretty bright sound, so I could brighten this up in a couple of ways. One of my favorite ways is to layer a dulcimer. Specifically, we have this V2 dulcimer, which I really love in the bright lead voicing, because then it's only right hand. And it kind of takes all the body out. But it's got to be low in the mix, so it's just adding like tack to the piano. Something like that. So I'll save that. I could brighten this up in another way by adding sort of like a bright, like a bell lead kind of sound. So I'm going to go to leads, and then we'll choose, let's do synth bell leads. See what we get here. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Just something that's kind of big and hangs for a while. Okay, so that'll be my big moment. Cool, okay. Now I need some ambience. I gotta fill some space, so I'm gonna grab a pad. We can start off with maybe just a warm pad. My go-to when I don't wanna think about it is still, years and years and years into Sunday keys, still just warm pad 1. That'll do, but I need some thickness, right? I wanna layer this together, so I'm gonna add a bright pad probably, or maybe a shimmer pad. I'm not sure yet. I could maybe do this big trance pad. It kind of swells in. I don't want to tweak it. We'll do big bright pad. Okay, so we got that. Let's see, what else might I want to do? Maybe a little bit of organ, maybe like a pad organ, just to add that little bit of kind of grittiness. I'm gonna go to pads and then search. I can see organ pads pretty quickly here. So I want the organ pad or the soft. Maybe the ambience? No, that's too ambient. Let's just do a reliable organ pad. Okay, that's cool. And then maybe the last thing I would add would be just like a bass sound. Something to fill out the low end, complement the live bassist. I want like a synth bass with some sustain. And then maybe I want it to be bright. Let's see, I'm not sure. I think I do want it, because then it can mellow out. So, like this. So then I bring the mod wheel up as I go. Okay, cool. So from here, with these sort of base layers in place, I'd go program my snapshots to kind of just rise and fall, increasing brightness with the mod wheel, increasing volume of some of those supplementary layers as I go. So, I do this all the time. That took me, I don't know, 5 minutes. And I think it's pretty cool. And I think it ballparks that big, piano-y, riffy thing, that sky full of stars-y thing. If I needed to do this faster, I would probably pull up my Ready for Anything patch, which is something that I put together and saved to my user library, which has a bunch of my go-to sounds. And starts with just a piano and some pads like this, kind of a stack. And then I could just dial in the various levels that I wanted. I could audit this and see how it feels. And this isn't getting as bright as I maybe want it to, so I'd probably end up tweaking this further to add more brightness, maybe add another layer or two, but I might be able to get there a little bit faster. I did a whole video on my Ready for Anything patch. We'll link it in the description, and in that video you can grab a shared setlist link to pull down my Ready for Anything patch. which to be honest is a moving target. I update it all the time. There's probably another video on that coming sometime soon. But for now, the current version of it is in the description. Click through to that video and then you can grab the shared setlist link. So I could build it kind of based off of that template. Another way that you could go about pulling off this song is to just browse the factory library, and there's different drop downs you can use to kind of help steer the filtering, because there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I don't know, 500 or 600 layered patches in the library right now, and we add more every month, which is awesome, but not easily browsable unless you use these filters. So I could say I'm playing a CCM song, it's upbeat. Do I want it to be tempo synced? This is an important drop down. If you're not using this one, it's a good one to use. This lets you just decide, should the patch have any ARPed or sequenced elements, yes or no. If your band's not playing to a click, then you want this off pretty much all the time because those aren't going to be useful to you. But for me, praise, it's got a lot of rhythmic stuff, and let's say that I am playing this to a click, so I will say yes. And then this drop down that I have here is for the sounds that I know I need the patch to include. So, you know, I know that I needed to have a piano, but what kind of piano? I'm going to say a grand piano. So now this list has gotten a lot shorter, which is awesome. So I can start checking out some of this stuff. Okay, so that's a bit more like moody than praise. That one's pretty darn good. You can browse around. Too ballady. We've got a couple power patches in here. If you haven't checked out our power patch expansions, you should. Those are also included in All Access, or you can just buy them a la carte. Let's see what else we've got. It's a pretty cool one. A lot of ARPs. I think this is the one I like the most, Mod Wheel Intensity. So I can pull this one in, and then I'm going to jump to that tempo I want, A. Because then any sequenced stuff and any chord trigger stuff, any easy chord stuff is going to jump to that key too. So from here I need to sort of edit this and see what I need and what I don't. Has a real bass. This stock bass is sort of our flagship real bass sound. I don't think I need that actually. I might replace it with a synth bass. So this has a piano lead, a big pad, this fantastical ARP. And then I could swap out that bass sound if I wanted to. Again, this just gives me sort of a palette to build on if I'd like, or I could just use it as is. If and when I were to do that, I'd probably rename the patch to praise or something so that I could easily remember what I was looking for in the first place. Okay, so that's another approach. You could find a factory patch using those helpful categories to filter down the list and get some good results fast. And then you can modify it as you see fit. One more way to go about this before you might consider using a song-specific patch is to use the AI patch builder. So depending on when the song was released, you could just ask for a patch for a specific song by name. So I could say, give me a patch for Praise by Elevation Worship, and you might get some pretty cool results. But what I have found works best is to also be descriptive about the kind of sounds you want included. I need a patch, an upbeat patch for Praise by Elevation Worship of Bright Synths. This doesn't need to be a great sentence. It just needs to be descriptive. And then the trick is to tell it you need a certain number of sounds at a minimum. At least 6 sounds. You can ask for 1, you can ask for up to 15. I like to say up to or at least, because then you might get some differing results over time. So giving it a prompt like that, and now we're going to see what we get back. And again, you're going to get sort of a jumping off point or a palette with this kind of technique. So now I can just kind of scan what I've got. I've got bass, I've got several different pads. Looks like 4 pads and 1 lead sound. So I'm going to just bring down these levels a touch, and then let's see what we get. Okay, that lead's not bad. It's not very bright though. Okay, I'm gonna hit try again, because I'm just gonna feed the same prompt through and see a different set of results. Let's try this one. So we've still got the same core ingredients, just different actual results here. So. Feels remixy almost. I don't think this is really working for me. I need to be more specific in my prompt. Include a piano, grand piano, and a EDM approach. I need it to be more like dancey, you know? And then I also realized that the prompt I'd given it wasn't being specific enough about the fact that I need like a grand piano at the front of things. So now I have this ambient grand. I still got pads, I've got leads, I've got a synth bass. And let's see how this works. Here we go. Bring the brightness up for that big chorus. Okay, so maybe a little bit more ambient than I want, but I could tweak this. Let's try one more. You can see this process, right? It's not just like type something out and immediately get something back every single time. It's more of an exploration process to see and help you realize what you're looking for and maybe sometimes what you're not. And then you can run with it from there. This is also a good way to just explore the sounds that are in the library, find ones that you do and don't like. By the way, if you star rate sounds in the sound library, then it informs how likely they are to be recommended when you use the AI patch builder. So if you have sounds that you love, rate them 5 stars. They'll show up more often in your patches. If you rate it 1 star, it's almost never going to show up in an AI patch builder result. So just a little bit of a hack for you there. Ooh, this feels pretty good. So it gets pretty bright. Don't love this aggro bass. So maybe if this were me, I'd probably just swap it out for a bass sound that I know I love. I love synth bass V2 because it just gets super huge, super gritty. You can hear that. I wonder if I've been playing the right progression in the left hand for this song. Or is it Sky Full of Stars? I think that's the right one. Sky Full of Stars. Wait, it's... There we go. They're not the same. They're very different. Oh, can I get back to the last one though? This might be my favorite one with that synth bass in there. From here, I'd save it. So you can save the snapshot, use this patch, give it a name. And now this becomes a part of my set list. And from here, I could, swap out layers, save snapshots, really dial this in. So this is another approach you can take to getting towards something specific. If you know what you're looking for a given song, you can do it in this way, sort of a text-based feel, vibe, descriptive approach. So just to recap, you could build something from scratch using the sound browser to pull in the specific instruments that you know that you need. And you're going to be able to find them in Sunday Keys because the sound library is very comprehensive, especially when it comes to modern worship music. So you could build it from scratch. Next, you could build it from one of your own templates, like your Ready for Anything patch that you build, which has, all of your go-to kinds of sounds, and then you can bring them up or down, replace them as you see fit. You could browse the factory patch library using those patch categories and drop-downs to get at the sounds that you need included, the kind of genre, whether you want it to be tempo synced or not, and then you can customize. Or you could use the AI patch builder to describe what you're looking for in whatever language you see fit, and then using that as a starting point for what ends up being your final patch. All of those options stand in contrast to using a song-specific patch, where all the programming is done for you and you can really focus in on something that's straightforward, simple, and easy to understand. So if you'd like to learn more about song-specific patches, I'll put a link in the description so you can learn all about them. If you'd like to get all of the song patches we have, check out the All Access license to receive all of the song patches in the app on demand as often as you need them. Hope this video was helpful. We'll see you in the next one.